Good morning, fellow traders. This is Doug Campbell with Right Way Options, and this is the morning market preparation video for September 5th, 2018. So, yesterday we saw another bear attack. We had that intraday bear attack that moved us down fairly quickly, and then we had this slow, steady grind up yesterday. If we look at that intraday chart, you can see this was the morning gap down. We rallied up to resistance and once again tried to test the low. The bulls held on here with a little bit of a higher low, and we had that slow grind higher. But we really, we broke this this is a 15-minute chart, by the way. We broke this little 15-minute downtrend, but we really didn't do things with a lot of decisiveness. So looking at the market this morning, you can see we're holding above our trend line here. That's bullish. We're holding above this March breakout here on the diamonds. Also bullish. It's bullish that the bulls defended this support area. But one of the things that we're seeing is these intermittent bear attacks, and we're getting some interesting little whipsaw price action here. Now, keep in mind, we have this looming cloud of the $200 billion potential tariff against China this week. So, what concerns me is not so much this light pullback. This pullback has been a beautiful pullback. What concerns me is these little attacks that we're continuing to receive in here. Will the bulls be able to defend that on these continuous moves? And how tenacious are their defenses here? So this morning we're seeing a bit of a gap down again this morning. Overnight, Asian markets and European markets are lower. And we're getting some outside pressure here on that. So this morning we're looking at a bit of a gap down. Now, it has rallied back substantially from the overnight lows in the futures. So it would not be out of the question for the bears to take an attack or try to attack intraday and push this back down to test the overnight lows. So watch for that today. Even though we're gapping down a little bit this morning, that may not be the end of the selling today. It's fairly common that we retest overnight lows at particular times in the future. So watch that closely. We could see that push lower today. Now, what's going to be important? There's no real threat here at this moment. We need to see the bulls defend and hold this support area, probably more importantly than any other level. We need them to hang on to that and prove that they can hang on to that March level here. The trend is very important, but we can certainly break a trend and then come right back. So being this close to that key support, that's going to be the critical point. If we push down through that key support, watch for the bears to really come out of the woodwork in a full-on attack. So we need to hold that support. If we take a look at the SPY is, of course, stronger than the Dow because the SPY broke out to new record highs. And so we have this uptrend here that has been very, very strong, continues to hold up very well. And the strength of that trend is obvious. We keep bouncing off of this trend and holding up well, and this support area is going to be very critical. Once again here, we have the possibility of that push down to break that trend and bounce back up, very much like we did right here and in this area and in this area. So watch that closely as we start to approach these support levels. Kind of keep in mind that we could see some big fluctuations in price. We could see the price action quicken just a little bit. We could experience intraday whipsaws, which can make it kind of challenging. So watch that carefully and closely, and be careful not to anticipate. So many times, the mistake that I made in the past is I would see us approaching support, and I would anticipate buyers stepping in. And that often cost me a lot of money. Remember, half of those who predict lose money. So your odds are not very good by trying to predict. Just wait for the signal. Don't anticipate. If this is going to hold a support, we will test down in here. Buyers will begin to step in. We'll see their price action pushing the market back up, and we can follow along. We don't have to predict. So watch that closely. Be careful not to anticipate. Let's take a look at the Qs. Now the Qs, and by the way, only the Dow managed to, let's go back here. The Dow, even though we put in this hammer style pattern yesterday, remember any hammer requires a follow through, and we're not getting that first thing this morning. Also notice here, very important I think to notice, is that we never made it back positive on the day. Okay, we ended up closing lower on the day. And if we take a look at the SPY also closed lower on the day, and with an indecisive candle pattern. And the Qs closed lower on the day, again with an indecisive candle pattern. Now this could be nothing more than a little light pullback, a consolidation. It's that big tariff out there that kind of looming that gives us this little bit of pause. And will the bulls be able to push through that? My hope is that they will. And right now, all of the trends are bullish. I'm just echoing a little caution in these charts, just to be careful on these indecisive candles, trying to trade your bias or make a decision that this just has to go up, because that is absolutely not true. We have to be really careful here and focusing on that price action so that we don't get caught in some kind of a trap. If we take a look at IWM had strong volume yesterday, a big bearish attack, and then a nice rally back. But once again, kind of indecisive and still in consolidation here on IWM. IWM has very little threat from tariffs because they're predominantly domestic companies. So they're holding up a little bit better without probably the fear that might be kind of creeping in with the diamonds and the SPYs. Let's take a look at the VIX. The VIX. I've been mentioning this inverted head and shoulders pattern here for a while, and we've been testing around this support level for a period of time. And so far, fear has remained in check. We haven't really spiked up. We've held on pretty well. We are seeing these little warning signs. Nothing major, just little warning signs around this support area. And this morning's gap down could certainly move us a little higher. Remember, we're going to be perfectly fine as long as we can hold, this area in here as a resistance level on the VIX. As long as fear doesn't creep up there too far, we're going to be okay. But remember, when fear really comes into play, we can get those big spikes and those big moves. So we do have to watch that for that potential. I wouldn't want to suggest that I have any clue whatsoever as to what is going to happen. Only I'm noticing these little attacks, a little bit of tentativeness here, and bulls are still in control. They're not going to give up easy, but the bears are certainly testing their defenses. So be very careful in how you trade this. Watch carefully. Let's take a look at T21 22. T21 22, that 4-week new high, new low ratio, and you can see we're still stuck here in the middle, doggone it. We're not getting much resolution to this. Stuck in the middle here doesn't really give us any major clues. What it does tell us is we have room to move to the upside and we have room to move to the downside. That's all it's really telling us. So as we hold in this area and hang around here with some indecisive candles, just remember we could see quick moves in either direction. So be careful how you trade. Let's take a look at our economic calendar today. Kind of an interesting economic calendar today. I have not seen one quite like this today. That we're showing today. First, draw your attention to international trade. International trade numbers are expecting to show a widening of the trade deficit. So keep that in mind. The market could respond to that number, particularly if it's a surprise a larger gain in that deficit than is expected. Also notice here we have mortgage applications. We had those this morning. We have Red Book today as well. But then we start this parade of Fed speakers. We have Bullard speaking here at 9:20, Williams speaking at 12:30 and at 3 and at 5:30. And we've got Neil and Rachel speaking also today. So we have this parade of Fed speakers that we typically don't see. In fact, I don't know that I've ever seen anything quite like that on the economic calendar. I doubt that anything is going to come out of that. But, with the White House kind of attacking the Fed, this could be a response back from the Fed, and could certainly add another little element of, uncertainty to the market. Markets hate uncertainty, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with all of the Fed speakers going on. So with that, everyone, hey, I want to wish you all a fantastic day. Oh, by the way, earnings, I forgot. There are about 30 companies reporting earnings today, just over 30 companies. Kind of watch that. Make sure you're doing the job of checking earnings results or earnings dates against the trades that you are trading. And if you're looking for a charting package that helps you do that, I use TC2000. I think it's the best charting program out there for finding stocks very quickly and very easily. But also what's really nice about that is we have the ability to, you pull up a stock, let's say like MDB that's reporting today, and you'll see that it lists the reporting dates. I've got mine set up to list the reporting dates right here on my chart. So if you're interested in something like that, check out TC2000. I'll actually put a link in the description today for TC2000 if you're interested in taking a look at it. They've given me a coupon because I taught a class on this, and so it can save you a little money if you're interested in TC2000. And I will soon be doing a webinar series about TC2000 just to show people how I use it. Not that I'm any kind of expert on it at all. So with that, everyone, hey, I want to wish you all a fantastic day. I want to wish you great profits. And if this is the first time you've seen these videos, please do me a favor. Click that subscribe button on YouTube, the follow me button on Facebook. Click those thumbs up buttons and drop a comment. And always, always, always feel free to share this video with any friends and family. Everyone, have a great day. I wish you great success in your trading. We'll talk to you all very soon, bright and early Thursday morning. Have a good one.